What is going down, everybody? It's Unbeatable Jacob. We are making a video today kind of loosely based around a tweet I put out this morning that got quite a bit of traction over on Twitter. So before we get started, if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to stay consistent on YouTube with daily uploads, failing a little bit, but the more support I get, the more I can find motivation. So, I appreciate it if you guys can hit that subscribe button. If not, understandable. Anyways, I put out this tweet this morning that said, you know what would be the coolest thing in the world? Retro spotlights. Earn 15 to 20 reward retro cards that walk in for something like this. The reason why I made this tweet was mostly because, well, I miss retro cards, man. I miss retro cards a lot. If you guys are unaware, we actually did get some packs last year that had retro cards in them. So essentially they were throwback cards with the old card art from previous 2Ks of the players from those games. Don't know why they stopped putting them out. It can only be assumed that those packs did not sell well because they never dropped a Retro 4, and Retro 3 was all the way back in February of last year, and we haven't seen retro packs at all this year, despite us getting them in December last year. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, 2K doesn't want to drop retro packs. There's a niche audience of us who absolutely loved the retro set and thought it was absolutely incredible. Best of both worlds. Don't drop them in packs, drop some retros that are grindable offline. Tweet actually did pretty well, 275 likes. I say pretty well as if it's like, it's Twitter, it just kind of caught the algorithm or whatever. And everyone seemed to be pretty big fans of it. So I kind of just wanted to give a quick rundown and just throw out 10 cards that I would like to see if hypothetically something like this were to happen. And I would love to get your guys' feedback. What retro cards would you guys like to see in 2K? Drop it in the comments below. So last year when they did retro packs, they did not include any cards from 2K20, which was the previous year, because obviously last year was 2K21. So to start this off, I have 4 cards from 2K20 that I would love to see in retro packs or rewards or whichever way they wanted to give them to us. And the first one is point guard Jonathan Isaac. Now, this card is definitely more of an endgame type of card. It came out in July, but the reason why I threw him on here is because I actually never locked in for this card. I never got to experience a Jonathan Isaac at point guard, but I played against him a ton of times, and he seemed really fun to run at point guard. This is something where if they were to drop a point guard Jonathan Isaac, it would have to be later in the year as he is 6'10", but nevertheless, a pretty cool and unique card. Not your typical run-of-the-mill out-of-position point guard, as no one really even sees Jonathan Isaac as a point guard type of person, like maybe a Grant Hill kind of was, or a Jokic even. I mean, he does have the ability to put the ball on the floor in real life a little bit, but I kind of forget because he hasn't played since like 2019. Another card from 2K20 I would absolutely love to see that I featured in the tweet is Glenn Rice. I could not put this video out in good faith without including probably my favorite card of any 2K ever. He's definitely up there. I guess realistically he is my favorite card in 2K history. It's tough competition between a couple of the 300s last year like Luka, Hondo, and Pistol Pete. And yeah, Glenn Rice, man, great card. And obviously they need to give him like 98 weight base if we are to get a card like this in my team this year, because last year when we got our Glenn Rice, even when we got our Dark Matter Glenn Rice, he did not have weight base for whatever reason. 2K needs to get it through their heads. It's not that big of a deal to give a player a money jump shot. Just don't give them a ton of defensive badges and playmaking badges and finishing badges to go on top of it. Kind of trade off those money jump shots for some badges and you have balance. It's really not the end of the world to give a player a base 3 or a base 98 or, these elite type of jump shots. It's not that big of a deal. And now for another card from 2K20 I would love to see come back is Lamar Odom. This card, when he came out, oh my goodness, he was something special. This card came out right around the time I started getting seriously into MyTeam and 2K20. I've always played MyTeam, but this card came out like right around the time I kind of got in the Twitch community with MyTeam and started watching streams and stuff like that. And he was cheap and had so many badges for the time. Just a great all-around player. If a card came out like this right now with these stats, he'd probably be pretty good, especially for the price. I mean, I don't think this card copy and paste into the game right now would make my lineup, and it's only January 24th. So, maybe throw a few more Hall of Fame badges on there and we can talk. Another thing about this card is he did have that LaMarcus Aldridge type base, which was absolutely amazing in 2K20, but now they've changed for the worse. It is no longer good, so give him base 98 like he had last year. For another 2K20 card, in the last 2K20 card, it is a Ben Wallace. I know, it's my favorite player, but I'm not biased here. A lot of people love this card. A small forward Ben Wallace is just perfect. I know it's not realistic, but there isn't much realistic in my team at all. Even right now, there's Bill Russells that can shoot the ball. There's George Mikins that can 360 tomahawk. We had Dikembe shooting 3-pointers on September 15th. It's not the end of the world to make Ben Wallace a small forward. He is 6'9". Yes, he played center in real life for the Pistons. But it's my team. So running a 6'9 center really isn't it. But right now I'm running a 6'9 center in Mo Lucas. So maybe if they come out with this card in the next couple weeks, he could still play center. But if he comes out any later in the year, I would love to see that small forward eligibility back on Ben Wallace. This card was absolutely amazing in 2K20. Would love to see him able to play this position again. And get this retro card art too, because that card art, man, oh my. And now we're moving on to 2K19. A couple cards here. I'm sorry, this is actually 2K18. I have my stuff backwards, but that's okay. A card that I would love to see from 2K18 is this Wes Unseld. So this Wes Unseld, I believe, came from Domination in 2K18. 2K18 was a very bad game, the worst 2K in history, in my opinion. But this card was amazing. This was a good card in a bad game. This is before position lock, so a lot of people ran this card at point guard. I was broke, I was in college, I didn't have any money, so this card stayed in my lineup all year as a no money spent player who really didn't play the game all that much because I was busy working, I was busy going to school full time and busy partying in college, so I wasn't able to get on the game much, but when I did get on the game, I was using this card because he was good. And now another card for 2K18, I'm sorry, these are all backwards, this is a 2K19 card, Dave Cowens. Now, the reason why this card is interesting because in 2K19, he had base 11, which was the best jump shot in the game. Nowadays, off the top of my head, I don't even know. I think they gave Dave Cowens jump shot 1 nowadays, but I would love to see a Dave Cowens card with a money jump shot. Give him an XM base type of shot, or a 38, or a 98, or a base 3 even. Give him one of those elite type of part jump shots and just see what he can do. He's only 6'9". It's not the end of the world. It's not going to be super OP or elite, but I just think it would be cool to have a retro Dave Cowens card in honor of this card and then give him a money jump shot, because jump shot 1 is fine, but it's not what base 11 is in 2K19. Another card here, back to 2K18, is Ben Simmons. The reason why I picked this Ben Simmons, yeah, you can probably pick like 10 different Ben Simmons cards that came out in the past couple years for a retro card, but the reason why I picked this one is because this was the first Ben Simmons in 2K that could really shoot the ball like that. This was a pink diamond Ben Simmons that came out in Endgame in 2K18, and you can just see how much has changed in this game, because this was considered to be like top card in Endgame, and he only had an 82 shot 3 with 14 hoffers. Looking at it now, he didn't even have like range, I guess, unless there was like a different Ben Simmons. I don't know. I know there's a couple pink diamond Ben Simmons. Maybe the other one had it. Not sure, but this was the first Ben Simmons card that could really pull it in 2K. So I think it'd just be pretty sweet to have a Ben Simmons with this card art, because the card art was pretty sweet itself. Another card here from 2K19 is Gilbert Arenas. Just like Dave Cowens, he had base 11, which was the best jump shot in 2K19. They still give him base 11. Today, as I mentioned with Lamar Odom, that jump shot is no longer good at all in game. But they just give it to him still, even though it's an awful jump shot and looks nothing like Gilbert Arenas looked like when he shot the ball in real life. So give us this Gilbert Arenas card art and then give him one of those money jump shots I mentioned. And let's see what Gil Zero can get into. That's what I'm trying to find out, because nobody really taking a Gilbert Arenas card seriously in my team in a couple of years. Now we have another card that has to make the list. You guys have been following me closely, follow me on Twitter. You guys know, don't have to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. It just, know, if you know, you know. Bring back this 2K16 Brandon Jennings. And redeem yourselves, 2K. And redeem yourself. Second opportunity. Retro, 2K, Brandon Jennings, 2K16, Brandon Jennings, and redeem yourself. All I'm going to say is if you know, you know. Yeah. Give you guys yourself a second chance. And last but not least, a very interesting card I would love to see a retro card of is Luis Scola from 2K16. And the reason why I say it's interesting, you're probably thinking, if you guys haven't been around the community for that long, why? Why a Luis Scola? What's different about this card? The reason why this card is different is because it never actually came out. When this card hit the database, people lost their mind because it came out, or was supposed to come out, I think like probably around this time of the year, if not earlier. It might have been in like December even, but this was back when MyTeam was like pretty realistic, right? You weren't gonna see a Galaxy Opal Thawne Maker back in the 2K16 days. You weren't getting a 99 overall Taco Fall on Bull. That's not what they did back then. Like, you had to actually be a very good player to get a diamond card. And you might say, well, we just saw a 2K16 Brandon Jennings. Brandon Jennings wasn't that great. He was in the same set. But the one that got the most backlash was this Luis Scola. So they never actually released this card in the game. He still sits on the MyTeam database to this day. He was technically in the game. I think you could match up with him in like Triple Threat Offline or the equivalent back then, which I think was the Gauntlet or Blacktop. But he never came out. You were never able to acquire this card because when this card hit the database, people absolutely tweaked out, lost their minds, said they were quitting 2K, etc., because this was back before the times where anybody could get a diamond card. Like, the people who got diamond cards back at this point in time were the KDs of the world, the LeBrons, T-Max, Kobe's, MJ's, Hakeem's, Kareem's. You weren't seeing just anybody get a diamond card back in that day. Getting a diamond card in 2K at this point in time was a huge deal, and when people saw this Luis Scola, they absolutely flipped out. And looking at the stats now, like, this card wasn't even that OP or anything. He had like a 55 shot 3 with a 49 ball control. So that just goes to show you how much has changed. So yeah, those are 10 cards I would like to see. Would love to hear which ones you would like guys to see. Catch you guys later.